Good morning, America. Good afternoon, America. And good evening, America. How are you feeling out there, Nintendo fans? To the whole entire Nintendo nation around the world, how are you feeling? Things must be feeling horrible for you guys. But it was you guys that acted as if your wallets were infinite. But to our surprise, resident gamer, we have some unfortunate news, 30 below, that once again,
What's up, 30?
when it comes down to the reality aspect on things, things just don't add up. And I don't understand. Because listen, you can play a lot of things off, but you just can't play what you don't have off.
The following is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
First of all, on the ones and twos, my man 30 below is always in the building with us. I got Resident Gamer O in the building. Di-RRec Gaming's in effect. We're here to finish this topic of the Nintendo Switch 2, and we had to come in and give us a final update on what's going on because this was just an ultimate catastrophe. Resident Gamer, oh man, how you living today, man? It's good to have you, man.
Good, famo. Good to be with you.
As a Nintendo fan, you do well representing Nintendo, and you know Nintendo's been a stronghold for many years, many of eras, many of decades, and they've always been able to execute in a way that when it comes down to family games, when it comes down to just simple aspects of just having fun games, get together community games, Nintendo has been able to do a great job at that. Here recently, especially in the mid 2Ks and up, Nintendo has been innovating in ways that have influenced gaming in some shape, fashion, or form, right? But after some point of not being able to grasp technology in ways that really push forward advancement with gaming, you find yourself, it seems like we're making excuses for Nintendo. And at first, when you're making excuses for something, it is validated in some shape or fashion. When you see that they've been doing things and you see a good track going, you're gonna come up with some defenses, and that's natural. There's nothing wrong with that. But when we're using excuses to just cover up a weakness, then eventually that weakness is going to be exposed. It's almost as if Resident, it's like boxers, right? It's like boxers in a ring, right? 30 below. And I want to say shout out to everybody that's always supporting our channel. Shout out to the chat pack, like 30 below, and the crew that either they're here when we go live or you're not here when we go live and you watch afterwards, or you're just in the background listening to the show. No matter what and how you support, we're always thankful and grateful for that. I wanted to get that out of the way. But when you have two great boxers, there's a reason for rounds, right? Because in your first few rounds, unless you're just really skilled and you're cocky and you kind of know that you can knock this dude out, usually the rounds end in short sessions. But when you have equally matched opponents and you know they have their abilities are pound for pound, and you see the you see the tails of the tape. They're almost the same height. The reach is almost the same. These boxers, there's a word called technician. A technical boxer, right? A technician boxer. He's gonna fill you out a few rounds before he starts to make his strategy on what he's gonna do. The whole point of that is that boxer is trying to find something that he can sense that you're weak at, whether it be reacting to jabs, whether it be not being able to see the haymakers, whether it be trying to guard your body, whether it's just you like to stay in the center of the ring, or you like to rope a dope, or you like to go into the corners of the rings. Whatever it is that he's trying to figure out, he's going to eventually find out, and then he's going to expose that weakness. And then once he starts to expose that weakness, he's going to use that to open up for a possible knockout, right? Or simply outbox you into the ring till the rounds have expired and he wins by the cards. But either way that it goes, boxers are trying to analyze and make sure that whatever they do, they expose a weakness and they make it count. So when we're talking about consoles, right, and we're looking at when a console comes out, we're going to, of course, want to know the specs. We're going to want to know, the accessories and all the components that they came up with to create the console, right? We're not looking for weaknesses. We're just looking to see what they bring to the table. But whatever they bring to the table, if we see that, oh, this is not, something's not right, or why they got this, the gamers are going to start talking about it. Shout out to Talos Reed. There is something and about the Switch 2 that's not, it's having a bad time right now. And we brought up something yesterday that, what's funny? I don't even know if you know about this, but you know what's funny? I found an article about what we talked about yesterday. And I know this one's going to get you, Reza, because I was holding this one from you. But it seems like Nintendo went backwards, right? And this is one of the things that we were talking about when we said people look like they went backwards. And people can have their opinions on it. But like I said, we're still talking about that $499.99 price point. I'm about to read this, man, and you're gonna trip out when I read this, because what's up, Mike Johnson? There's got to be an outcry coming from all kind of streets out here, all these gaming streets out here. There have to be a noise that's just rumbling, because it was clear when we saw that direct about this that it kind of made you wonder. So I'm gonna read it to you, Resident, and I'm gonna send it. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna send it in the chat first. I'm gonna send it in the chat before.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, before I read this, I'm gonna send this in the chat real quick. Give me 1 second. And also, y'all, we're not gonna be here as long as we were last show. We just wanted to cover up this, get a few laughs, and move on and get ready for South of Midnight. I know I'm definitely in. I'm hyped. I'm hyped about it. Okay, so here it is. The Switch 2's jump from OLED to LCD wasn't a decision that Nintendo took lightly. Resident Gamer. I'm not lying, man. There's a lot of advancement.
They could have done a cheaper LED. They could have definitely gone for a lower end variant just to give people that technology that they want. And also, yeah, not to go backwards, because people don't want LCD. They want LED, especially after having a Switch OLED. It's hard to go back, and people don't want to go back. So it was another growing pain that people had with the Switch 2 reveal.
Yes. Oh, man. It says months of rumors and leaks meant that yesterday's announcements that Nintendo Switch 2 will come to an LCD screen wasn't all that big of a surprise. We have been preparing to say goodbye to the OLED for a while now, but Nintendo is keen to point out that the change isn't a decision that the team took lightly. During a roundtable discussion with Kawamoto, and we're not here to make fun of people's names, so if I did not pronounce the gentleman's name properly. It wasn't intentional. We are mature here, and we don't make fun of people's names, especially people from other countries that we over here may not be able to pronounce correctly. So forgive me if I did not address his name correctly. Takahuro Dota or Data and Tatsuya Sasaki at yesterday's Nintendo's 2 hands-on event in New York. Sasaki admitted that there's been a lot of advancement that has been made in LCD screen technology since the release of the Switch 1, and the team took a look at the LCD technology that is available. What is available to us now during the Switch 2 development. After a lot of consideration, Sasaki continued, we decided to stick with the LCD. So they're not really being very thorough on why they did it, but I don't understand when they said the technology of LCD. I mean, the LCD technology has been out here for years. But fortunately, there are a handful of features that the Switch 2 has up its sleeve to outpace its OLED predecessor. So I don't know if that's something I don't know what they mean by that. I don't know if it's something in the future or whatever, but he said, fortunately, there are a handful of features that the Switch 2 has up its sleeve to outpace its OLED predecessor. Okay. Even with the OLED version of Nintendo Switch, it says we didn't have HDR. Sasaki pointed out, but that's something we have support for now. But the crazy part about it is that's not hard to get. That's not hard to get when you HDR. I mean, OLED has HDR, so I don't understand that one. But without trying to agree too wholeheartedly with the console devs, we have to admit that we're fully on board with this point. Okay, playing about the modern LCD screens on devices like the PlayStation Portal reveals a level of quality that simply wasn't available to the OG Switch 8 years ago. Sure, those blacks might not be quite as inky as they would be on an OLED, but this is far from downgrade if you might have thought it was. Now, notice this is Nintendo Life. This is Nintendo Life. So on Nintendo Life, they're saying that, I don't know why would anybody think that the LCD screen, one of the oldest screen techs that even jump started this whole things, and that's liquid crystal display, people. Not an LED, not a micro LED, but the LCD, the very first one. Shout out to Ashtray Gaming. I don't know where they thinking it's better than OLED, but you've never heard of an HDR LCD screen? Yeah. The HDR, you can implement that anytime. You can, you can put HDR in a 1080p TV. You can put it in the regular 4K TVs before they had the 4K, when they were just regular 4K resolution TVs. They implemented the HDR, and that's what made things brighter. But before all of that, it's just old tech. I don't understand. Yeah, it's old tech. I don't understand why that article was made to try to act like the LCD was something that they did that would have been, that's just overall, just no matter what, it was just going to be better than the OLED. I don't know where that's about that. But what's your take on that? You got anything out there, man?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it's also a financial decision too, because they know if they put the LED in there, they're going to have to up the price of the console, and they've already pushing it for some fans with the $450 price tag. With the OLED, it would probably at least go up to $550 or $540. That's another $100 almost. And that's more than the Series X and the PS5. So that's going to be a big turnoff for most people. Most people will probably end up waiting. So they would definitely take a hit in their sales. So I had a feeling way before when this was even announced that it was going to be LCD, just because of the technology's evolved with LCD. You can get a lot more picture quality clarity.
What's good, my man? Bomba Clock.
you get more the features, the support that you didn't get before with HDR, and I did read that the Switch 2 does have VRR support as well, 120 hertz, which is still pretty nice. I mean, it's not going to be quite as good as an LED, but I think it's about as close as they're going to be able to get with the LCD. Still, it's a step backwards. I think they honestly, like I was saying the night before and the day before, that they should have just taken the price hit on their console and sold it at a lower price like they did with the first Switch, because they're basically cutting off a chunk of their initial launch sales and potentially holiday sales, because people are not going to buy it right away. They're going to wait, or they're going to see if they can get it secondhand or on sale because of that exactly. So I don't think it was the best move by Nintendo, but I think it was what they wanted to do ideally, because also it's not just that. You got to think about it as well down the road, what their normal, the way they always do things with how they do production and new units, new consoles, is they always start off with the lower end console with the basic features of the basic screen, and then they give you a newer version of the console, either improved design or improved hardware, and then potentially a third option, which is where they add the newer video tech, which is the LED, and charge you basically 3 separate times, because they're doing 3 separate consoles and they add different features in each, which entices you to buy more. So it's a like Nintendo thinks of this in multiple different directions and how they can best utilize their resources and what they have and what they're designing.
I didn't know if you could hear me or not.
Hey, Bran.
You guys hear me or not?
We can hear you.
Okay, but you know, I think everybody's taking this from the wrong point of view. I think everyone, you know, thinks that, you know, Nintendo.
Well, hold on, Xbox Brand. Hold on, Xbox Brand. I gotta get your introduction in here, man.
Oh, sure.
So we got a new guest live from the streets, resident gamer O, friend from the Xbox League of Extraordinaires. This is Xbox Brand. Welcome to Di-RRec Gaming for the first time. We love when the streets come.
He's an older age gamer. He's got a lot of knowledge about the industry and about gaming in general. So I thought he would have a lot of good input.
This is
so
great
welcome,
stuff, man. We're glad to have you here. Anybody who's a friend of Resident Gamer is a friend of mine. Welcome to Di-RRec Gaming, man.
Well, I think we already follow each other already. Pretty much. I think I've got you. I think each one of us follow each other. But,
yes, sir.
But you know, I wasn't going to be on here long because I'm still at work. But I did have a little bit to chime in on this whole Nintendo issue, and a lot of people I think are going about it the wrong way. I think they're thinking that Nintendo needed to up the ante, needed to really push the boundaries of what they can do. And Nintendo's never really been the company to really hit the stretch of saying, okay, what can we really do to get the best graphics, the most innovative gameplay. Now, I'll admit, when we had the Wii U, it was something new. It was, when we had the Joy-Cons with the Switch and all that, those are great innovations. However, the Switch 1 did a great success. It's beat out every console. And I think the Switch 2 is it's like the second variant version. And so they didn't really have to step it up much. They just had to get enough to say, hey, this is a better console than our previous console. And for Nintendo, everyone's wondering, well, why the upbeat on the cost? Well, Nintendo had already seen on the horizon that costs were going to go up anyways. So they're just going to be the first ones to hit it. It's going to be everyone's going to hit that down the road. So it's not like it's going to be a big deal. Is it going to be a stunning shocker? Not really, because we were already hearing that GTA 6 was a very possibility of $100 drop. Well, I would admit that GTA 6 is one of those that can be the only ones that can do it. However, this is a big deal that overall it could dramatically change the entire industry. So, like I said, hold on just a minute, guys.
Yeah, to add to that, it's definitely going to change, because I heard there were reports at the Gamers Developer Conference that they had this year. Some of the developers and publishers were mentioning that that the prices need to go up for the games because of how everything costs so much more and how much it costs for the publisher. So it's definitely happening. There's already been talks. So it's just Nintendo did it first. That's all it is. And people, I think just mainly a lot of it too is sticker shock. People are just kind of like, whoa, because we just had a price increase, to 70. So now we're going to 80. So, I mean, it's just par for the course right now. It's capitalism, right? Like same thing with your rent going up every year, right, Famo? Your house mortgage, little percentage year by year. I know some house mortgages are locked in, but I meant for other certain exceptions. But yeah, it just feels like a natural progression. Just gaming just going to get more expensive of a hobby. Some people are just going to get to a point where they pivot to a subscription service, or they stop gaming just because this is going to be too unaffordable.
Sorry about that. I like I said, I'm still here at work, so I have a lot of things going on here from a managerial standpoint. But the thing, I agree with you 100%. I think it's going to move the market as we see the price of games going up. I think we will start to see subscriptions becoming a much more prevalent part of the market. And the only issue is those costs will go up. So if we don't see single player games getting bought because people are, subsidizing and going to these, cheaper markets, they'll just raise the ante on those. So the cost is going to go up. But the real question is, does it really matter? We've seen for years that people have bought the Switch games by the droves, 22 million sales, 30 million sales for a game. This has always been the case. They have outsold every other game that has come out. Why? Because they're Nintendo. They seem to do very well. People love those types of games, and they continue to want those styles of games. And I think as we continue to see the future of this, I don't think we've seen a change with the people for Nintendo. I mean, I don't see a lot of people saying, you know what, that's it. I'm not buying this Switch anymore. This is absolute garbage. I have seen a few, but we only see that really on X. But I'm the large gaming majority, I don't see them changing.
Speak on it.
There's a guy right now that's one of the guys that I follow for a long time. He said, "Hell, man, I'm buying 2 of those things." I mean, that goes to show you they love the console, they love what they're getting from Nintendo, and they're going to continue to buy the stuff for Nintendo. And I don't see it, because I'm always a guy looking for value. As Resident had said, I'm an older gamer, so I've been around since the start of this stuff, and I got kids, I got a family, I got to try and take care of my family and all that. And when you're talking about dropping $80 and $90 for a game, hell no, I ain't doing that no more. That's why Game Pass for me has been nothing but a lifesaver.
I think that's why they're doing a lot more game share options now.
Yeah, agreed.
I got something, y'all, that came in. Game Share sent me a text message. This is crazy because Xbox brand just said something that it's crazy how this stuff is actually happening, right? You said something about the price of the console and how when people got their priorities together, things gaming should never be something that you struggle with affording. I agree. But what's crazy, and you said some Xbox brand that I think a lot of people don't admit to, and I say it all the time when I talk about the PlayStation guys on Twitter X, that these guys do not even know how to reflect the true community gaming culture of the PlayStation fan base, because the PlayStation fan base are not even playing thing games that they're pom-pomming about. They're not. If you're going to really truly talk about a console and being a part of its fan base, you should be able to reflect what's really going on. So if you're listening to a PlayStation guy and he's talking about their exclusives, he's talking about this and that, he's not a true reflector. The true reflector is talking about Fortnite, Roblox, 2K, NBA 2K, the Maddens, the FIFA. That's what they play on Call of Duty. That's what they play on PlayStation. But I had a debate with Game Serials, and I was telling him that, listen, man, ain't nobody buying that PlayStation 2. Ain't nobody, I mean, the Switch 2. Nobody's buying that Switch 2 so quick and so fast. But I guess I called my L today, man. He sent me this. Legal, you lied to me. You lied to me. With laughs. I went to GameStop. I asked people there, are they ordering the Nintendo Switch 2? The guy said yes. 3 people asked, I guess he's talking about the worker there, said yes. He said 3 people asked when the pre-order date is. He says, I also asked the GameStop employee, why are people buying the PlayStation? He said, because of 2K.
You know, Phil made it.
These are not children that are buying the Nintendo Switch 2. So you were right about that. Now,
well, see, and then that's the thing that
real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
The thing that I'm going with is, I think Resident Gamer is going to touch on it because he has the article about that. I have the other one, the one I read, but the one he's going to read out is going to touch on all this crying. The Nintendo fan base has been exposed. They've been holding this mythology. See, remember, everybody, every community obtains a myth, obtains a narrative, obtains a theory, right? And you have to be able to weave your way around. You have to be able to maneuver in a room full of vultures, because each one will tell you lies about their community. Everybody does. We over-exaggerate sometimes. But what Nintendo likes to do when their backs up against the wall and they can't really justify things, the victims are children. Well, they're kiddie games, and so this is why it's like this, and this is why I like that, right? They always talk about the kiddie stuff. But now we see a bunch of crying. Resident will read this off in a little bit. And what I saw with my own 2 eyes out of the article was like, wow, it gives you a number of how many people were crying on this show, because I think they did a show in New York. I think that's the same article I was talking about in New York. I think they did like they might have went live and just for a little bit. So they had their fans in there. Well, it's going to tell you how many of them were crying on that thing. These wasn't children. These were grown adults. These were grown adults. You know, adults know how to budget their money. You can't look me in my face, right? Xbox brand, right? Resident Gamer, right? Chat Pat. No one could look me in my face, right? And tell me that how long has the Switch been out? Going on, what, 9 years, 8 years, 9 years?
9 years.
There you go. Almost a decade. And you mean to tell me that within almost a decade, you ain't saved up $500? But watch this, Xbox brand, because I don't want you to lose what you were going to say. Watch this, everybody. Knowing that a new console is coming, knowing. So that goes to everybody out here. I'm not just saying that about the Nintendo fans. I'm not just saying that about the PlayStation fans. I'm talking about us too. Even if we had, 6 years, you mean to tell me in 6 years, in 12 months, in 1 month out of those 12, you couldn't save $50? So if you can't really do these things, then maybe gaming isn't the hobby for you. Maybe you need to find something else. Because if you're grown and you're an adult and you don't know how to put back money, I don't even know what to say to you. Because all the grown people I know pay bills. They know how to pay their bills. They got car notes, they got house payments, they got light bill, water bill, electricity bill, gas bill, whatever kind of bills they make. And they're able, medical bills, and they're able to pay them. So when we're talking about our video games, you set back money for that, because that's not reality bill, that's fun bill. You don't survive off of video games. So that's your fun bill. That's something you should be setting aside, because every gaming generation gives you plenty of time to save up. Go ahead, Xbox Brand.
No, you go ahead. You're hitting a beat, man. You keep on.
All right, I'm cooking. All right, he gonna let me cook. Okay, I'm done cooking on that, because I'm ready to see. I'm ready for Resident Gamer to expose what he has. I have my article, but I think he's gonna beat me with his.
All right, I'm going to try to read the article, but for some reason, when I switch over to the browser, it like cuts the audio out.
You want to
so
send
let
it
me
to
try.
me? You want to send it? I'll send it to me.
Yeah, you sent it.
All right, I got you.
I could go over it. You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
Right.
Fans. So as I've talked about, like the last couple of nights, we've had our discussion about the Direct and about the Switch 2. I told you that people were not happy, and I saw a lot of mixed reactions on Twitter. I mean, some White Knight defenders, some people trying to explain it away, other people just flat out mad and not going to get it or not going to get it for a while. Fans protest during Nintendo Treehouse over the cost of Switch 2 and its games. The unveiling of Nintendo Switch has sparked mixed reactions. While early impressions from those who have tested the console suggest that the company has crafted an impressive piece of hardware, many were shocked by the pricing details revealed after the Direct. During the first edition of the Switch 2 Nintendo Treehouse, users expressed their dissatisfaction by flooding the chat with a clear demand. Lower the prices. Drop the price, fans demand during the Switch 2 Treehouse. As shown above, players used the public chat during the Treehouse to voice their dissatisfaction with a resounding message: lower your prices. Many find the software prices particularly steep. For example, Mario Kart is set to cost $89.99 for the physical version and $79.99 digitally. This marks the first-party game from any of the three major companies, to exceed $89.99, excluding special editions. Opinions on the console are divided. Some consider it fair for the technology offered, while others believe it could have been more affordable. See?
Yep.
Accessory prices also play a role in the debate. The Switch 2 Pro controller will retail for $80. Though there's some good news, the controller will work seamlessly with the new console, except for games requiring new features. Notably, this does not include the C button for older controllers. Its function can be replaced by holding down the home button longer. And that's the article. And that's a lot of the talking points I've been talking about, Famo, lately on our podcast. And like, I've been right on the mark. I mean, it's right there. I mean, you're seeing a live reaction from multiple people, fans and casual fans and hardcore fans.
It's a meltdown.
You're seeing it. Yeah.
Yep. Over. Now look, the PlayStation fans have a 799.99 console, and you didn't see this meltdown. We over here on Xbox, we've been paying $499.99 since 2013. You didn't see no meltdown. That's a bundle Switch 2 at $499.99. That's a bundle, y'all. That's not even the normal price of the Switch 2. The normal price is $450, right? $450. Am I correct? Anybody?
Yes,
correct?
Sir.
Right? So it's still cheaper than the top-notch Xbox, and it's cheaper. What, the PlayStation 5? It's still cheaper.
Yep.
So what are they bitching about? We found
still the cheapest console outside the Series S.
Right. We found the secret. See, okay, so what I'm trying to say is this. Xbox fans' secret is Game Pass, is being able to play our games for a subscription fee. We having to understand how to leave the console war alone, right? It took us a while, but we had to leave it alone because we have to accept that we were third place in the console war sales, right? Now, that's right, Mike. No, it is. Yeah, 329. Now, the PlayStation fans, we jumped them on trying to retain the console wars when there isn't one, right? And they get a lot of flack for that, right? Nintendo fans tend to be real quiet. they're the ones that want to say, oh, well, they're stupid over there, and we got our Mario games, and we're happy. We got Mario Kart, we do Splatoon and Smash Brothers, right? And they usually stay out of the ballpark. But now we see why they did all that talking, trying like they were the best and everything, is because it was cheap prices over there. Cheap console price. Now you notice what matters to them. See, now they are exposed. The community of drop the price has been exposed. This is what matters to them. So now they let Nintendo see, and here's the problem. This is why we're doing the show today. We're not going to be long, people, because I got to get to that South midnight. But we had to do this. We had to close the Book of X on this chapter because you can't have it both ways. They as long as the price was cheap, the Nintendo fan was there to play the creep. They were going to creep as long as the price was cheap. But what's the mystery about that? Resident Gamer, Xbox brand, chat pack. There's a mystery behind what I just said. And here's the mystery. If you are complaining, and look, I'm just going to be honest with this. The PlayStation fan base, they, even if they don't support, you won't hear them talk bad about a product. You won't hear them talk bad about whatever Sony are trying to bring out. They may not, they show that they don't like it by way of not supporting it, right? But you won't hear them bad-mouthing. The Xbox brand, the Xbox fans, what we do for the Xbox brand, we got feedback. So a lot of y'all don't see us, but we're on our Xbox and typing away. Man, we didn't ask for that. Like in the worst game, we didn't ask for that. Oh, yeah, bring this up. So a lot of stuff people just don't see. That's how we do our things. What's okay? Well, that's it, brother. Yeah, we gonna fight. Hey, listen, Mr. Kima, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm hyped. And when I'm hyped, you know how I get, brother, because you know me the longest out of anybody out here. You know how we get. This is Texas Connection, baby. So I'm it's something different. I'm hyped. I'm very hyped about the next gen. I'm hyped about everything about the next gen, but I'm totally, as y'all know, I'm totally hyped about Xbox's next gen. I like the way gaming is heading. I like the way games are looking now. I picked the right decision. It's Game Pass or nothing for me now. My subscription is up to 2027. I'm about to throw about another 9 months added to it, and I'll be filled up for 2028. And all I got to do is play these games. I don't care what anybody thinks about me. This is just video games. I'm no longer here to try to justify my status as a gamer to make another gamer feel less than me by what I own. By what I own, I could care less. I could care less what you own. Don't worry about what I own anymore. This is about who's going to support their console. See, you're going to see me with the next Xbox. You're going to see me with the next Xbox because I'm ready. I'm locked in. I'm ready. I'm prepared for the next Xbox. You will never see me complain because I'm getting prepared for it. Because the ultimate tier when it comes to gaming and affording gaming, we all know it's PC. So if I'm not paying, look, a graphic card is $1,500, a graphics card. So if my console costs me $700, I'm not going to be complaining because I know that there's a bigger price out there that sits above my head that, yeah, I could get it, but PC can't lock games in 4K native 120 right now. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not buying that I'm not going to pay that much money to be making excuses. And look, Mike Johnson, even the PC community makes excuses. Well, we have settings and we, You paid all that money, homie. Why is your gameplay native 4K 120 something? We don't want to see no dips. So if I'm seeing dips, it ain't worth my money. It ain't worth my money. Over here, I can do 4K native with no dips, or at least 4K 120, no dips. No dips on my OLED C2. No dips. There's no dips. It's steady. I didn't say locked in, but we ain't got no dip. Well, if I'm playing Call of Duty, I ain't dipping nowhere. And I'm on my OLED. So, they even that community has its theories, myths, and narratives. We all do. But here's the thing. Here's where I'm getting to, y'all. Here's the mystery. Now that I've said what the PlayStation fans don't do and what Nintendo, and Xbox fans don't do, if you listen to what I said earlier, right, about them complaining and drop the prices and all of that, and now we know what's the central emotional feeling for the Nintendo fan is, right? It's about the price. So that tells me that now Nintendo fans don't care to advance. They're not trying to make Nintendo better. We can lay off the PlayStation fans now because we know we jab with them with that. But we know that's not really true. They support, but they just don't talk bad about it. But Nintendo fans, you came out in public. You went on that live stream and and started chanting. Look, go look at the article, y'all. They literally started chanting. You can't make this up. I'm about to read the exact number they said. The exact number that they said. Let me see. What's that exact number? They said, I think they put the number on here. Let me see. I guess they didn't. Let me see. Let me go in the picture. It was, oh damn, they got the picture there. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take that picture up. I'm gonna save that picture and post it on Twitter X. That's funny. That's gonna be the chant. But let's see. Did they do it? Did they say it? Oh, they didn't say it. But it just says fans protest during Nintendo Treehouse over the cost of Switch 2 and its games. Okay, lower the prices. Drop the price.
Yeah, there's no number, Famo. There's no number.
I thought it showed, but it didn't. Okay, there's no number. So that saved them. That saved them incredibly. But just imagine. That's what I'm gonna say. Just imagine.
But I heard people were flooding that chat, so it was like a lot.
Great, y'all. Just like, okay, the Nintendo Direct, and you saw 1.2 million people there, and you see the chat just going crazy, and you see it moving real fast. Imagine being right there, right? Now, I want everybody to understand this. Somebody got that chant going. There's a founder, right? We know but it's like being at a basketball game or anywhere else, and somebody starts trying to do the wave. Eventually, somebody else catches on, and then before you know it, the whole stadium is doing the wave, right? That's what happened, y'all. There was an agreement that happened live and direct. Somebody started saying, lower the price, drop the price. And after a while, everybody started, you hear that? You see that? Then it just became a plethora of chants. A plethora. And can you imagine? This ain't children. I just want to say, this ain't children. These were grown adults doing this. Okay, so we entered the realm of weirdoism. Not only Nintendo fans that you show that you're weird, but you're super weird because you own the word super. Super comes from your territory, so you're super weird. How does grown-ass adults act that weird? Live on a live streaming session, and you started acting weird like that over the price of a $450 console that you pom-pom around. And Nintendo is trying to upgrade. They're trying to innovate. And you're telling them to digress. So you want a Nintendo back at $399, but then you're going to complain. Look, these are the same idiots that was complaining about the Nintendo Switch, the possible upgrade not being in 4K. Everybody remember that? I remember when Nintendo Direct showed the newer version, which was just an OLED screen. They got mad because it wasn't in 4K. Do y'all remember that? I do. I remember it like it was yesterday. They got mad that it wasn't in 4K. But you're telling me that they're okay that this thing is at 1080p? That up to, they're also the land of up to now. Now everything is up to. It ain't hidden.
Yeah, Famo, because it's 120 frames, so they're okay with it.
Yeah, up to 120 frames, 120 hertz. Up to. You get up to 4K. But all of that can happen to them. But what can't happen is Nintendo finally get a little technology put in, and they don't understand that a little technology comes with a little bit of raise of the income, and they don't want that. So now, Nintendo fans, you've been exposed. You like being behind. You don't innovate. So we don't. So guess what, Nintendo? You either going to show us one or two things. You either going to be like Hiroki Totoki. See, y'all don't see where I'm going with this. Xbox brand said, let me cook. Y'all don't see where I'm going with this, but here it is. Hiroki Totoki on the PlayStation side of things said, screw your feelings. We got to do what's best for the damn company. Okay. PlayStation played that exclusive talk, but it doesn't work anymore. Sony has realized that, you know what? It does feel good to put games that we consider case by case on PC when we want to, and we're going to do this timely thing, and it's working pretty good for us. We see that the numbers work pretty good for us. So don't expect any day ones, because they already let you know we can't do it like Xbox day one because we can't afford that. But what we can afford is timely. We can get out here and see how much a game does on PlayStation for a while, stick on PlayStation for a while, and then when we see the numbers plateau or case by case, we'll throw it over there on PC. Okay, pretty much the same thing. It's called expansion, regardless of how you feel about it. Whatever makes you feel good to go to bed at is still expansion. Now watch this, Xbox brand. Watch this, Resident Gamer Ho, and watch this, chat pad. Nintendo fans have said boldly in their actions and in their words, they don't give a damn about expansion. They don't give a damn about technology. They don't give a damn about being better. All they give a damn about is being cheaper. So Nintendo, all eyes on you. Are you going to get some balls and tell the Nintendo fans to grow the fuck up and say, listen, this is business. We can't stay behind like this. We can't just stay like that. We can't just stay cheap. We will stay affordable. See, there's a difference being affordable and being cheap. I think the console at $450 is just being affordable. They bundled you already. $499.99. You didn't go over us. So what you bitching about?
And you get a game. It's not just the console.
That's what I'm saying. And you're getting the game. Go ahead, y'all. Come on in. Yeah.
And that's where the games have gone up in price. And it's to them, it's a small upgrade, even though, like we've said, $450 that's a fucking steal when you're talking about right now the console prices and where
you're talking to us. It is.
Yeah, because we're looking at consoles as the Series S being $300 or $250 most of the time when you find them on sale, and then you're getting a Series X for $500. Then you've got the Pro, which everyone's just kind of shying away from the PS5. Just I guess they're slim and they're the non-disc and then the disc version. They're just going for the straight Pro, which is $700, and then $800 just to get a disc drive. And so this being $450 is an absolute steal. It's a great deal. However, like you've said, these fans are not wanting to jack out that extra $10, $20 on a freaking video game, even though that's where it's at. You got to suffer it on the front end, get your console at a little bit higher price, maybe even $550, whatever. Then maybe you can keep it $70 games. Who knows? I don't know. What I'm saying is that the prices of the games for where it's at, I don't like where the market's going on it, but that's where Nintendo says it's working. And for them and their financials, that people are going to buy it. This is what I've said for years, where people have always made an argument of saying, you know what, Walmart's doing this, or Target's doing this, or Chick-fil-A is doing this. You got to boycott them. In order for you to move the needle, you have got to get 10 plus million people to not jump on the wagon. Do you realize how hard that is?
Yeah, I agree with you, brother.
Yeah, and I'm gonna stick with you. We're gonna say, Nintendo, we are not gonna stand for this. You are gonna change your ways. If you don't, we're not gonna buy the console. You gotta be kidding me. You know that console is going to sell well. It's just like GTA 6, and everyone talking about how, oh, it's $100. By God, I
come on,
buy that
speak
game.
on it. Come on with it.
By God, I won't even buy that game. It's $100. You can't get me to buy it $100. You got to be kidding me. I said from the start, if they were to tell me it's $150 for the Ultimate Edition, I'm buying it. They tell me it's $200, I'm buying it. Why am I buying it? Because I bought every freaking GTA since it came out. And you know what? When they make a remake of it and kick it up a step even higher, guess what? I'll even buy it. You know why?
Do you know why
Because
Xbox brand is telling the truth? You want to know why he's telling the truth? I don't know if y'all know this, but Sarah Bond just revealed that the Grand Theft Auto 5 is coming to Game Pass. Y'all want to know how long Grand Theft Auto 5 has been out? Since the 360 in 2013. That's how long Grand Theft Auto 5 has been out. And I think Grand Theft Auto 5 has been on Game Pass before, and it's coming back. Can you imagine that? And guess what, Xbox brand? Thousands are going to play it on Game Pass.
Hey, that's the funny thing, man.
You see what I'm saying? Hundreds of thousands of people.
They had it on there. And that's the funny part, is Rockstar will do this time and time again, right? They'll just throw it out there, throw a bit of little time out there, throw the game on there, get a little bit of interest in it. A couple extra people are going to buy it. That's fine for them. They've already made their money, and what is there, 60, 70 million, 100 million, whatever it is that GTA has sold. But, you know, that's great for them, and that's successful for them. Well, that's why they throw it on Game Pass, because Microsoft's willing to throw a bag for a couple of months, and the game's on there for a couple of months. Well, for Rockstar, that's just money in the bank, man. And
that's all it is.
And then what's going to happen is you're going to get these people. You're going to get several more. They're going to buy it. Why? Because GTA overall is a pretty dang good game. And guess what? People are still want to play it. Someone might buy a shark card, so you still shelled out a bit of money, or you bought the upgrade version, whatever it is. But you're still pouring money into the Rockstar piggy bank, and that's all.
That's facts. So now, Resident Gamer, we're getting close to our 1 hour. We got 7 more minutes, and I'm letting everybody know, Xbox, PlayStation community, we've been battling. We've been warring with each other. That's just something we've done for the competitive side of gaming since Xbox got in here. But Nintendo has been exposed on a whole nother level, because the two things that I can't say about the Xbox community and the PlayStation fan base is that we do not try to stop the advancement of our consoles. I mean, and PlayStation fans right now with the PlayStation 5 Pro prove that. Even they're not going to tell you it's dog shit. They're just not buying it. But they're not going to go on no live stream. They're not going to go on the internet and just pound away at that console. They're not going to do it because they have an understanding of what's going on. They know that Sony's got to innovate. Even if it comes at a sacrifice of a console, they got to try to innovate, and they got to get to this next generation. They know that. So they're either staying on the PlayStation 4. If they didn't think that the PlayStation 5 was good enough, they stayed there. If they upgraded to the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Pro doesn't feel like the need to upgrade, then they're going to stay there. But the goal is to get to PlayStation 6. We all know this. You even see it with the games. Even though I'm making fun of them about being in a drought, I really know why they're in a drought. Sony has forfeited this generation. Even Xbox low-key has. But the difference is Sony didn't have their pipeline together like Xbox did. That's the difference. So Xbox has made some changes and have been able to just dump some games and keep us having games, where the ABK deal really hurt Sony. It put them back. So really what Sony is doing, y'all, they're making games right now, but they're making them for the PlayStation 6. They might cross-gen some, just because as the PlayStation 5 gets older and devs, well, you know, I guess certain devs will understand the tech. I don't know if that's going to happen. I got Wolverine on the table towards the end.
Well,
but I don't.
To point out,
what's up?
I wanted to point out, because you said it a few times, is that, you know, the only games that they're keeping as exclusivity for even a little bit of period of time are single player games. All of their multiplayers, however, are going multiplat. They're going to they're going PC, going to Switch. They're going to be multiplat games. So this was never part of the program.
Shout out to Tron TJ. Thanks, man.
Go 10 years ago and look at PlayStation. They never one time would throw a game day one, Helldivers 2, coming out day one on PC. That was insane. And
that was insane. That was a change.
It was a change.
That was a change. And even if PlayStation fans got mad at that, how did they address it? By not supporting it.
Exactly.
That's how they talk. But deep down, they know that Sony has to try to do this. They know deep down. But you'll never see them come out like that and bitch and cry like that. You'll never see the Xbox community come out and bitch and cry like that. Nintendo, y'all are a weird-ass fan base. And note that this is the real Nintendo fan base, because Xbox brand says something that was beautiful today on Di-RRec Gaming. And this is what I love about the streets, because the streets is undefeated. There's a saying that me and Games Real say all the time. Twitter is not a real place. It's not a real place. If you're on Twitter X, right, and you're looking at all these little silly ass comments and all these lies and myths and theories that you get from there, that is not the true reflection of on no one's platforms. You don't see it. This came straight from the streaming feed. In the chat, live and direct. There wasn't no social media platform at all. This was live. You went on there and you expressed yourself. Wherever you was at, you expressed yourself. Yes, now, wherever the YouTube channel is at, of course, that's a social platform, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like a Facebook, an Instagram, you know, Twitter X, or not even like a TikTok. But we're talking about something that was on a live stream that went live. So you got the real people there that expressed themselves in the reality world. Like Xbox brand was saying, the things that you don't hear and see outside, you see it on the damn keyboards, but you don't see it outside. Well, we got a chance to see it outside, live and direct. And that article put the damn picture up, because they were shocked. They knew what they had. Damn. They're literally showing the whole world who they are. They are showing the world who they are. I'm posting this right now. I am literally posting this right now, y'all. You cannot make this up. You cannot make this up, people. I am dead serious. You have grown people of the Nintendo fan base chanting, drop the price, live on a damn stream. The extra super weirdo-ness is on another level.
Well, you know, one weird part about it is that at least, you know, the one thing you'll never see from the Sony fans is they're not going to be whining about the price upgrade, right?
No.
They'll defend that to
They'll defend it. That's right.
And just like the Xbox fans, right?
We'll defend it. We'll come up with some kind. That's right.
Everyone, what did they say about Game Pass, right? When it went up $2, what did they say?
Exactly.
Everyone said, what was their words?
You go.
Oh,
there you go.
You guys are playing for you guys are paying up for the Netflix of
right.
Your rental station, and oh my gosh, the cost has gone up, and you guys.
That's it.
But what happened with the Xbox community? We stood up and we said, yeah, guess what? We're okay with it. Why? Because we're getting value out of it.
Yeah, we know we was getting more. Yeah, we
knew
Nintendo
fans, on the other hand, are at least willing to speak the truth of saying this is horse shit and this price is going up, and we're tired. We don't want it. We want you to change that. Well, at least they're telling the truth. It definitely affects them. But the difference is they're going to go out and they're going to buy the console and they're going to buy those games. And guess what? At the end of the day, they may bitch and complain. They may go to their brothers, sisters, mothers, whatever, and say, you know what? That just sucks, man. $80 games. Yeah, man, I'm playing that tonight. Yeah, I'll be on there.
Xbox brand, the difference is this, fam. I'm going to be honest with you. They told everybody why they're not going to do it. That's what they just did. So don't expect 100 million sales. Don't expect that. See, you got to understand something. There's a track record with them. Me and Resident Gamer was talking about this, and I know we went over a little bit of our hour, Resident, but we're going to conclude. Resident's really put the Jason Voorhees on us, man. He done got quiet, pulling out the machete real quick.
I'm ready to get back into South of Midnight myself, Samo.
I can feel him. I can feel the machete being pulled. But Resident, we're going to conclude with this. This is good stuff, though. So let's get no more than 5 more minutes, at least.
You're good.
The thing is, the Xbox brand, they already told the world what the problem is with them. So when they don't do it, see what they're doing, Xbox brand, they're trying to reverse psychology on Nintendo as a company. They're trying to make Nintendo say, you know what, they're not going to buy this console because Xbox brand said they are. See? And so they're going to say, well, you know what, we're not. Drop the price and then we'll buy it. But by doing that, they really told Nintendo what they really care about. Notice they're not bitching that the damn thing don't have no video games. Notice.
That's a fact.
This is a fact. They're not bitching about that because you know why, Xbox brand? You know why, Resident Gamer? You know why, Chat Pack? Because it was never about the game. See, now we have the answers because it was never about the games. You know what they hold up to? Oh, our games don't go to nobody else's platform. They got donkeyism just like the PlayStation fans do. Now, not all PlayStation fans care, but donkeyism is in that platform. But the Nintendo fans have the ultimate donkeyism because that's the only thing they got going for them. And notice how that Switch 2 showcase let them down when all that third-party support came running in. It destroyed their hearts. Because don't think they wanted to come out bragging about something. Oh, don't think they wanted to come out on a social feed and start talking about what they got. The problem is they can't tell nobody what they got. And now that $499 or that $450 price point is not justifying it. See, it's because, hey, you want us to pay this for what? Well, here you go, Nintendo fans. You didn't say that about the Nintendo Switch when it dropped the first time. It did the same damn thing. It dropped without no games. So see, we can put one and one together. The reason why you didn't bitch about it then is because it was only $299. It was what, $299. You said to yourself, not a big deal. Okay, you validated why Nintendo. See how stupid that is? It doesn't. What I'm trying to tell people is this. It doesn't matter what the price is. It's what the quality of the company is bringing to you. If that damn console was $59.99 and it's not bringing you new games, that's dog shit. It doesn't matter. You don't say, well, it's only $59.99. What did you expect? I expected video games. They put out a console. That's what I expect. You see where I'm going with this? So at $450, at $499.99,
pulling a Sony Famo remasters and remakes.
There you go. There you go. Even Sony PlayStation knows, well, give them a remaster. At least they can't say we're not giving them games. Give them a remaster. You see what I'm saying? But Nintendo put out $450 to $499, and there's nothing there. But Mario Kart World, So they just let you know they don't give a damn about Mario Kart World. It's never been about Mario Kart World. It's never been about Super Mario or Luigi. It's never been about Kirby. It's not been about Zelda, people. You have been exposed. The only reason they've been hanging around with Nintendo is because it's been cheap. And it's Nintendo fans that's been holding Nintendo back from pushing forward. This is exactly why Nintendo is scared to push forward. Operation Mission exposed. This is why Nintendo's lagging behind. It's their own fan base. But just like we say, Resident, just like we say, Xbox brand, it's their fault for catering. No real company caters to their fan base. When Phil Spencer came in as a leader, he shut us all up professionally, saying we're not talking about console sales anymore. Did he not? He trained us to stop talking about it. That's what true leaders do. Because he didn't want us out here sounding stupid. Look, you need to understand what we're about. We're a company that likes to talk about where the money actually matters at. We don't talk about topics where the money's not actually doing anything. And he said, in console sales, we really don't make profits off of that. So a company like Microsoft will never talk about console sales because that's a topic that makes no sense over here. We're a $1 trillion company. We're about talking about money. We're over here talking about profits. We're over here talking about revenue gains. That's what I want my community to talk about. And how do I talk? And how do I teach them? Because I teach them what matters most about video games. What's that, Phil Spencer? Engagement. And now you have all these gamers, Metroplex Gaming, and the Xbox community have no problem today talking about engagement. Why? Because we were taught better. PlayStation ain't going to tell their fan base that because they're whiners. They don't have nothing else to brag about if they can't brag about the console sale. The PlayStation community is content with being in second place on that. They're super second placers. But Nintendo, we're going to end it right here. But the Nintendo fan base, it has never been about nothing else but a cheap price. And Nintendo fans, you chanted it. You did that. You was caught for it. Say, lower the price, drop the price, lower the price, drop the price. I'm gonna end it like this.
Well, I'll go ahead and bail out myself, but you guys have some passion that really kind of inspires us as gamers, and continue to voice those things out there and making the community aware of the ever presence of the hypocrisy of different groups out there. And I appreciate the stuff you guys are able to tell me and help grow me as a gamer. So you guys continue on your the love of gaming, and like I said, we'll meet each other on the other side.
Hey,
man, good night, my friend.
Right. Yeah, man. Thanks for those words, brother. And anytime you want to pop up on Di-RRec Gaming, man, you come on up here, Resident. If he reaches out to you, just bring him on just like you did. You don't even have to ask, man. Just bring him on, man. He came up on here. You see how comfortable he was, Streets? He came right through the front door like he was right at home because he was right at home.
Yes, sir.
That's exactly how we want y'all to feel. So thanks, Resident, because I didn't even know he was coming. He put you in here. I didn't even know he was coming. He told me about you, but I didn't know he was coming. So that was a surprise for me. All right, y'all. We're going to get out of here. Hey, man, y'all know that. Keep it gaming. Listen, if you like what we're about, right, and you appreciate the work that all of us bring to the table here, from the Mighty Chat Pack, from the streets like Xbox brand, to the panel like Resident Gamer O, and to the leadership of Di-RRec Gaming, of the New Legal, and the man knowledge that created this, right? If you are an Xbox fan and you speak the language, we welcome you to the League of the Extraordinaires, the Xbox League podcast. We're bringing gaming back to the streets, and we bring the streets back to gaming. That's what it's all about. Hey, listen, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Never miss a beat on the ones and twos. Make sure you leave comments below. Make sure you interact with the Mighty Chat Pack. Do whatever you feel. Shout outs to the members. Shout outs to those that hit us overseas and make Di-RRec Gaming international. Remember, always keep it gaming and never, ever tuck your chain, because everybody deserves the extra man. Everybody deserves the one up. And we are here to hold a responsibility, people. We are here to do one thing and one thing only, resident gamer, and that is to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us gaming. In the meantime, y'all be safe. Get out there and play your new game, South of Midnight, because that's what me and Resident Gamer about to do. And in the meantime, y'all hang in there, and we might just be bringing y'all another 5 shows, so don't be slipping out there in these gaming streets. I go by the new legal. This is Resident Gamer O, Xbox brand, the Mighty Chat Pack. Peace. We up.
The following is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.